Everybody, I am back from New York, and this little video is just to show you a little bit of what I got up to while I was there, which was mostly work, but I managed to get out to the garment district very briefly, so I thought I'd show you some of the things that I bought. I also did a bit of filming while I was there. I kind of went out with my camera and tried to record some stuff. The sound is variable in its quality, but I thought you might like to see a bit of what I was going out looking at on Sunday morning. Yeah, it was on a Sunday, which means that a lot of the shops were shut, but it was lovely and I got to walk around and enjoy Manhattan. And it was very windy. I chose to wear my A-line skirt that day. Bad call. I walked 8 miles, mostly holding on to my dress, to stop myself flashing most of the Manhattan taxi drivers. Which I may or may not have managed to do. It's unlikely they're going to find me, I suspect, so it probably doesn't matter. Anyway, here is here is the little tale of Manhattan, New York, probably tale of New York. That's a better one for you to enjoy. And then I'm going to show you what I managed to buy once you've watched that. So I will see you back here in a few minutes. Okay, so we are on 7th Avenue, Fashion Avenue, and the junction of 39th Street, West 39th Street, and this is the famous button and needle sculpture that sits in the middle of the garment district, so I thought I'd show it to you. I'm going to cross the road and see if I can get a slightly better picture. So right next to the needle is this sculpture which someone has artily added a disposable coffee cup to of man with sewing machine. So it just shows you how big this was in the past. This was basically where most of the sewing workers used to operate. And then if I turn around, here's the button. Let me see if I can get around so you can see it. There's a very real chance that, you know, me standing here with a camera in the middle of New York is going to end badly, but there we go. So there it is. See through the buttons. Through the buttonholes to New York flat apartments. There you go. So I've actually been to the garment district 6 or 7 times. I've never actually seen this sculpture, so I came to find it. Hurrah! Mission accomplished. As you can tell, it's pretty noisy. It's about, what time is it? 8:30? No, it's 8:10 in the morning here, so it's still pretty early and it's a Sunday, but as ever, New York never sleeps, and it is quite loud. Okay, let's go find some shops. Okay, so you can see there are a lot of fabric shops here. So, Fabric Garden, traditional braids and trimmings, Hamid Fabrics, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. As I said, all closed, sadly. Bad day to do this. But yeah, there are a lot. Sorry. Because this is one of my favourite places in New York. This is the Hudson River Greenway. As you can see, there are people fishing. There's a cool little thing with chairs and a roof that you can sit in where you wish to do so. And behind me is Manhattan. There we go. And down that way is the south of the island. Let me just turn around so you can see me. Yes, here we are. I was just about to, I'm just going up onto the High Line so you guys can see it. But I just saw this wolf on the ceiling and I thought I'd film it. This is an art gallery. There's one wolf there, there's another one behind the thing, but I'm too short for you to be able to see it from this distance. There he is. Wolf on the roof. And here is the High Line, which I'm just about to go up so I can show you another of my favourite New York spots. So we'll go up and I'll start recording once more. And here we are. This is the High Line. So it's on a disused railway track in and amongst the skyscrapers. But it's green and gorgeous. If I just do a little panoramic shot, I get it to focus. It stretches all the way down to 14th Street, I think. I just came up at around 22nd, something like that. But yeah, it's lovely. Just this little oasis of green in the middle of Manhattan, and you can walk all the way up to back up to where I just came from. So I've done a loop, kind of walked west from my hotel to the Hudson River, all the way down the west side of Manhattan to High Line. Now come up onto the High Line, as have other people, as you can see. And I'm going to walk all the way back up again, in the hope that by the time I get there, because of my jet lag I was up so early that most of the shops are shut, but by the time I get there they should be open. But yeah, I'm just going to get to this little open bit so you can see, and then I will stop because my battery is dying, which is not very helpful. But here we go. Looking out. There's a nice garden up there. Skyscrapers and trees. Right, I'm going to keep walking. I'm probably going to stop filming and then try and film what I actually buy when I get back to the hotel so I don't completely destroy my battery, because I didn't bring my charger, obviously. And the sun's come out. Hurrah! It's a bit cooler up here. It's nice. Okay, I'm going to keep walking and I will see you guys back at the hotel and hopefully I'll have some stuff to show you. Good. So there you go. Windy Manhattan. But I had a lovely time. It was a good trip. I did lots of work. Work was good. It was pretty full on for the 4 days I was there, but it was good. And they have introduced into automatic immigration machines, almost as if someone listened to my video. They did not. I should be clear, that was not a slight on the American immigration system. I suspect London Heathrow is just as painful. But it is quite a long time to be standing in a queue when you've been on a plane for 8 hours. But actually it wasn't too bad. I got through in about an hour and a bit this time, which is pretty good going. So yes, I landed Saturday, went to my hotel, checked in, did all that stuff, went out for dinner. And then Sunday morning I got up and went for a stroll, which is what you've just seen. So after I'd done the High Line walk and went back up to the garment district again, I headed for, I think I was on 39th Street when I actually found things to buy. There are actually quite a few shops open. The internet claims that there are only a couple of the bigger ones, which is true, like Mood is shut, but I think Chic Fabrics is open, Parole Fabrics is open, and another one which I didn't go to is apparently also open. But actually lots of the little independent-y ones were there. Lots of the people selling more kind of sari type fabric and the very highly embroidered and beaded stuff was were open. But I don't really know, I couldn't quite think what I would do with that at the time, and I had limited space in my tiny little bag. So yeah, didn't think that one through. So I decided that I would just go and stroll around and see what I could find. So the first shop I went into was called something, which I shall put up on a little thing because I can't remember, but I wrote it down. On 39th Street. If you're walking east, it's on the right hand side, maybe like a quarter of the way along that block. And having had the experience I had with my friend's silk dress, I've made a slight promise to myself, we'll see whether it works, that rather than just making vast quantities of things, I will invest a bit more money in good quality fabric and make good quality stuff that if I were to buy it would cost me a lot because it would be a higher end sort of a thing. This may have been rubbing off on me walking down Fifth Avenue because I was like, this place is, Fifth Avenue is amazing, but it is just full of obviously very high end shop, a bit like Bond Street in London, it's a similar thing. Or bits of it are. And kind of looking in windows and thinking, I can make that. That skirt is $200 and I could literally make it for probably 20. Maybe I should spend more time making some better quality things. So this shopping trip was sort of my first foray into trying to buy better stuff. Anyway, so the first shop I went to was that one, which I will write the name on the screen by the magic of technology. And I bought more silk because turns out I love it. Didn't think I did, but I do. So I'll show you those. I also wanted more plain things because I've got a lot of pattern stuff, and actually mixing patterns is a technique that I've not quite learned yet. So I want some plain things. So this is one. So I got plain silks, and it's a chamois. Is this one. So it's very light and very drapey. And look at that colour. Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, sort of a salmony corally pink, which as I've said before is one of my favourite colours. For many reasons, one is which that it looks very good on me. Or I look good in it, maybe that's more true. Makes it sound less like it's about me if I say that. It's not all about me. So yes, this one, and it's got a shiny side, and a dull side. I prefer the dull side myself, so I think this is going to be the outer facing bit of the garment, but you never know, I might decide shinies for me. So that's one. This was expensive, and I shall tell you in a minute what happened to me in the next shop I went into, because of course as soon as you actually commit and buy something you find it cheaper in the next place, but never mind. This was $25 a yard and I got them down to 18, which for 100% silk, and it is gorgeous quality, I don't think is terrible. But there you go. I've paid, you know, that's what, £15 probably in today's exchange rate? Would have been a lot cheaper than that a few months back before Brexit happened, but you know, dollars and pounds ain't quite so economical anymore. But yes, $18. And then I bought it in exactly the same fabric but in a different colour, and I bought it in this sort of soft appley green, which is also exactly the same, so shiny side and dull side. They actually look beautiful together as well. Well, that's kind of lovely. And a sort of soft, I think soft autumnal kind of colours, those categorise into. I categorise those as soft autumnal colours, which is also my colour palette for anyone who's interested. Colours I look very good in tend to be these softer, warmer kind of colours. Yeah, so that's gorgeous. So I think both of these are going to become tops. Probably very simple, camisole possibly, tops. Unless I can think of something else to wear. Or if one of you wants to suggest something, feel free. Because they're beautiful. So I will make something lovely out of those. So yes, that was the first shop, and then I wandered down the road to Parole Fabrics, which is one I'd seen online but hadn't ever been to before, and very sadly it was closing. They had big signs up in the window saying everything was on offer, which I didn't really clock as I was walking in. I was slightly kind of, it was, yeah, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. But yes, Parole Fabrics I think has been a bit of an establishment in New York. Those of you who live there can tell me much more than I can tell you. And they sell beautiful fabrics. It's the lovely thing about the garment district in New York, and I'm sure it's true of many other places, but it's the first that I found, is that because it's in the middle of the garment district, most of the fabric shops sell apparel fabric, whereas in the UK it's quite hard to find shops that sell that range of things. Like finding 100% silk, you might find it on Berwick Street in London, but it'll cost you, you know, like £30–40 a metre, which is just crazy. And so over at do a really lovely range of dressmaking fabrics. That's obviously their business, but there aren't that many places where you can go and know you'll be able to find, you know, I want plain sandwash silk, or I want, you know, a really good quality wool, or I want cashmere if you're feeling so inclined. And in New York it's just that particular sector is everywhere, which is lovely. So they had gorgeous things, but because they were closing down, everything was massively reduced, which I didn't appreciate until I got to the till. And there were 3 women in front of me who were actually buying up the entire shop. And you know, they had to get rid of their stock because they had to close the door and they weren't allowed back in after that. So it was all quite sad. The manager was there and he was sort of running around being angry about things, which I understand. But yes, the women in front of me would literally have 50 bolts each just piled up, and they just kept going around and picking up more, and then they were cutting it, and thankfully I managed to sneak in between, or I wouldn't have got the stuff that I did get, because it was quite a long process. But they're gorgeous things, so that was really sad, but also good because everything was cheap, so I felt slightly torn about that one. Anyway, so I only got 2 things because they opened at 11, I went in at probably 11:30, and I had to meet, I was working that afternoon, so I had to go and meet the person I'm working with by kind of 2 o'clock, so I only really had a couple of hours. And you know what it's like in a fabric shop, you take a good hour just choosing what you want. Anyway, that ramble over. So I'm going to show you this fabric, and I should say all of these things aren't going to be made quickly, but I wanted to show you what I bought while I was in New York so that you could see it, and then I'll pick them up again in a haul at some point and show you what I'm planning to make with them probably in another month, but not another month, a month from now, a different month of the year. But I did have a specific thing in mind for this, so I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because it will come up in probably a few weeks' time, but I'm going to show you the fabric anyway, and then I'll remind you of it when we get there. So I need waterproof fabric. No prizes for guessing what you think I'm going to make. And Paron's fabric had lots, which was really good because I've really struggled to find it even online in this country, and I was thinking I might need to buy some and then like waterproof spray it, which is never going to be as good as waterproof fabric, and maybe I'll just give up on the waterproof thing and just sort of make something else. But I found some. So this is what I got. more green. It's a green theme today. Yeah, so this is nylon, but it's waterproof nylon. And it's actually, again, it's really nice quality. I love the colour. Interestingly, this was the softer green of the three that I looked at, though in this light it doesn't really look that soft, but it's lovely, and again, green is always good. So yes, I can't remember how much I bought of this, a couple of yards maybe. You can hear it's waterproof. But yeah, so that was that's one thing I got. That was $21 a yard ticket price. I will come to how much it actually cost when I finish this next little bit. And then the last thing that I got, I wanted, one thing I've realised is I don't really have much lining fabric. I tend to buy the main fabric, and then I kind of can't be bothered to line things, but in my new Make Good Things plan, I need to line things. So I was like, if I find good lining fabric that I can use, I will buy some, because then at least I've got it in my kind of stash, and it's always useful to have stuff you can line things with. And I also knew that I wanted like a rayon or a cotton lawn or something natural if I could manage it, or at least not completely synthetic, just because I've got quite a lot of synthetic acetate type lining fabrics. Well, actually I haven't, I've got scraps. Anyway, in Parole Fabrics again, there was a big kind of box full of lining fabrics, in which was this, and I just thought, well, how could I not buy that? So this is 100% rayon. It is by Nick and Nora, for those of you who are interested. I don't know whether it's old or new or what, but it was in there. I mean, everything's discounted, so it's hard to say. But this here it is. And it's called skinny dipping or something, because it's these nice lady and gentlemen who've removed their shoes. They're not skinny dipping, they've got clothes on, and in this country it means you go nude. So I don't know, you know, they're dressed. I mean, the man is even wearing a vest, for goodness sake. I mean, that's a lot more than most people would wear in... Sorry, there's a vest in England, I don't know what that is in American, but anyway. Yes, so I just thought, I mean, wouldn't that as lining, that would be amazing. Don't think I'd ever put it on the outside of anything. But yeah, I just quite liked it. Sort of bold, brash, nice colours, quite fun. Got that slightly vintagey feel about it. I quite like the fact that it's quite a stylised picture. Yes, so that was the last thing that I bought. And those two, because sorry, getting caught up on things. Because the waterproof stuff was quite expensive, or at least I count that's quite expensive. They should have cost me, I bought quite a lot of both, it should have cost me about $70, and it was $16. That is why the women were buying everything in the shop. It was just crazy that they'd reduced it all that much. Not crazy, understandable, they need to get rid of their stock, but I was lucky. So yeah, so that's all the fabric. But I bought two other things that I wanted to show you, because it's not sewing, but I found a shop. It was a disaster. And I bought lots of things which I didn't really need. So the office that I was working in, one of the offices, is on 5th Avenue, and we strolled down from 5th Avenue towards the village for dinner on one of the nights, and walked past Paper Source. Now, Paper Source does not exist in the UK, and I don't know how big it is in America. Sorry, I've not done my research. You're probably all sitting there going, well, duh, yeah, it's thousands of them. But for those of you who don't live in the States, papersource.com, I mean, I would imagine they ship from the States, but it's amazing. So it's all paper-based crafts. So wrapping paper and gift cards and lots of notebooks and journals and calendars and that sort of thing. But the other thing they do is sort of paper-based craft kits. Yeah, you can see where this is going. And because it's September, in the States obviously Thanksgiving's in November, so the sort of 2-month horizon of celebration, which means that the shops get full of that thing. Like in this country, October is the time Christmas stuff starts coming in. So lots of Thanksgiving stuff and fall stuff had started to go into the shops, and Paper Chase had a massive fall section. Seeing as I'm such a sucker for autumn, that was a problem anyway on its own. But I found these amazing things. So they do these kits of paper-based stuff. Sorry, it's in plastic, so I don't know whether the light's going to mean it's hard for you to see. But I bought this tropical leaves garland, which is so pretty. I showed this to my friend who was like, well, that's you. You're clearly going to put that on your wall. Yes, I am. So this it gives you all the stuff. So you have like the leaf cutouts, all in like perforated things. It gives you the string. I think this makes 16 feet of garland, something like that. and then you can hang it up. And I just thought, well, that's lovely because you can get colour and sort of natural stuff but without needing to water it, which is my kind of thing. So I bought that one, tropical leaves garlands. They weren't cheap, it was $15. Quite a lot for some paper, but never mind. And then I bought this one, fall bouquet, which means I can have flowers in the house without needing to water them and then ending up dead. That's what tends to happen. So yeah, this one similarly has all the things, little sticky thingies and wire and florist tape, so that you can make your bouquet, pop it in a glass or a vase, you know, whichever, and you can make those. So yes, I might take this to Devon with me. I think those might be one of my crafting activities. So I don't know how to transport them back again. I've got the car, be fine. So yeah, so that's everything that happened in New York. It was awesome, as ever. It's a lovely city. I do love going there. The reason I talk about it, I suppose in a way that makes it sound like I know vaguely what I'm talking about, though a New Yorker would tell me I don't, is that I worked out there for 6 weeks and spent quite a lot of time going backwards and forwards, and because I was always there with locals, they kind of showed me around, and we went to some kind of quite cool places. So I've never really felt like I don't know, you always feel like a tourist. I don't feel like a tourist. I've never really been a proper tourist there. I've not done like the proper tourist trek thing, though I have managed to cover most of the big things. I was always working, so it kind of felt a bit more homely somehow. Yeah, so it was really good. It is absolutely horrendous weather in London, which is one of the reasons I'm in this room, because the front room where I normally sit and record, the light, it's just terrible today. And actually this is working a lot better, so I might just sit here in future. It was absolute torrential rain all night last night, having been 31 degrees the day before, and today it's gone down to about 21, so it's feeling a bit more autumnal, but I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah, so off to Devon tomorrow, and I will try and film some stuff while I'm there and just show you guys a little bit of Devon, because it's so beautiful, it's ridiculous, and where we're going in particular is a lovely part of Devon, so I will try and get out with my camera and show you guys a little bit of that in return for you letting me spend some time in New York. I say that like everyone watching this is in America. I know that is not true. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. So I will, I've so far managed to put up a video a week for at least 2 weeks, so I'm doing very well on my new schedule. I know I don't have any Wi-Fi when I'm away, so it's possible this will, my next week's video will go up a little bit late, but that's fine. So yes, enjoy your weeks. I hope you have a lovely rest of September. It will be near the end by the time I speak to you again, and I will see you again soon. Bye.